3 missed chances. In a city lived a man, completely ordinary, nothing special about him. But like many others, he cherished 3 precious dreams: to land a prestigious, high-paying job, to find love with an incredibly beautiful woman, and to achieve worldwide fame. One cold, damp winter morning, when sidewalks were covered with a treacherous layer of ice, he was rushing to a job interview at a major company. This was his chance, the position he had dreamed about for years. Suddenly, right in front of him, a well-dressed elderly man slipped and fell. Probably had too much to drink flashed through our hero's mind. Casting a quick glance at the fallen man, he walked around him, afraid of being late for his appointment. The interview went terribly. They politely rejected him, and the desired position remained an unreachable dream. The summer evening. On a warm summer evening, when the city was wrapped in twilight and the first streetlights were coming on, the man was strolling through an old town square. His attention was caught by a small troupe of street performers. Their makeshift stage had gathered a modest audience, but those who stopped were genuinely enjoying the show. The actor's performance was mesmerizing, laughter rang out naturally, and the plot was witty and captivating. When the play ended and applause erupted, our hero was about to leave when he felt a gentle touch on his shoulder. Before him stood an elderly woman in clown makeup, the lead actress of the play. With genuine interest, she asked his opinion about the performance and the actor's work. But the man wrinkled his nose in disgust, brushed off the old woman, and hurried away. The rainy autumn night. One gloomy autumn evening, returning from a friend's noisy birthday party, exhausted and dreaming of a warm bath and soft bed, he heard quiet sobbing. On a bench near his building sat a woman soaked to the bone. She lifted her tear-stained face and turned to him. "Sorry to bother you, but today is the worst day of my life. I really need someone to talk to." The man paused for a moment. Before his mind's eye appeared a picture of his cosy apartment, hot tea, and long-awaited rest. He nodded vaguely at the woman, and looking away, quickly slipped into the building entrance. The heavenly revelation. Years passed, and his dreams remained just dreams. Life went by grey and ordinary. When the time came to leave this world, the man found himself in heaven. There he was met by his guardian angel, a bright being with sad eyes. They swayed on heavenly swings among fluffy clouds, and the man sighed, "You know, I lived a completely unhappy, worthless life. I had 3 dreams, and not one came true. What injustice!" The angel smiled gently. "My friend, I did everything to make your dreams come true. I needed very little from you, your hand, your eyes, and your heart." "What do you mean?" the man asked in surprise. "Remember that drunk man who fell in front of you on the winter sidewalk? That was the chief executive officer of your dream company. He personally went to observe candidates before the interviews. A brilliant career awaited you. All it required was extending a helping hand. And that old clown woman," the man whispered, beginning to understand, "that was a talented young actress in makeup who conquered millions of hearts. She fell in love with you at first sight. A happy future awaited you both. Children and love that wouldn't fade with years. All it required was your attentive eyes, able to see true beauty behind the mask. And that woman in the rain?" The man's voice trembled. A famous writer going through a deep creative and personal crisis. If you'd invited her in to warm up and simply listen to her, she would have written a book that became a worldwide bestseller. On the first page, she would have mentioned the name of the person who became her muse. You would have gained worldwide fame. All it required was your heart, capable of empathy. The man froze, realizing the scale of his missed opportunities. "Why didn't you give me a hint?" he asked bitterly. "I whispered to you," the angel replied quietly, "but you were too busy with yourself to listen. Your dreams came to you on their own, but you weren't paying attention, my friend. The lesson. Sometimes our greatest opportunities come disguised as ordinary moments requiring simple human kindness. The dreams we chase so desperately might be standing right in front of us, waiting not for grand gestures, but for basic compassion, attention, and an open heart. We often miss life's most precious gifts because we're too focused on ourselves to notice the magic happening around us. True success isn't just about achieving our goals, it's about being present enough to recognize when those goals are offering themselves to us through acts of service to others.